What challenges and opportunities does the PBSA and office to residential market face?
Yes, I think there's a number of challenges in the student sector at the moment, obviously with students not being at university. So I think a number of universities have talked around continuing the online learning and actually not having students back until either October or even the start of the new calendar year next year. So I think that is a challenge for student accommodation sector as a whole. Obviously, they're reliant on students moving to where the university is and living in situ. So I think the way that develops will be interesting, and whether that has an effect in terms of it makes more courses move online, it could result in a sort of structural change really, in terms of the fact that rather than students always having to be on campus, some courses may be delivered as just an online only course. We just don't know how that's going to go. I think that there's always going to be a need for student accommodation. Certain courses can't be done online just by their very nature. And I would say that it's probably going to be a difficult year for the student market, but we'd be optimistic that sort of by January next year, it will be back to normal way of operating. In terms of the office to residential market, the challenges of that has been the stock, really available stock. Obviously that permitted development right has been in place for a number of years now, and a lot of the buildings that have been converted already have been in sort of the prime locations and the best buildings that have been available for conversion. I think we've got to a point now, a number of years down the line, where there's just not as many buildings available that can be converted to residential. I know there is talk of within the government changing the planning rules to introduce further development rights for industrial as well, and I think that will probably be the next big thing that will come through, should that get approved in the summer, whereby permitted development will be in place for industrial B2 and B8 units. And I think there'll be a big surge in demand for those type of properties that can then be converted to residential.
Do you see if they're becoming a lot more stock on the market as offices potentially people might move away from them, as we've seen during this period?
Yeah, I think there will be a change in the office market, because I think obviously with social distancing and businesses returning to the office, that there's going to be less people in the office. But I think that those people that are in the office will require more space, just because you can't have a bank of 6 desks with people sitting opposite each other. It's just not going to be permitted now. So I think there will be a structural change in the office and the way that people will work from home more. But I think the office will be used in different ways. I don't think the requirement for businesses having an office will go away. I think it will just be different. Whether that is that businesses decide they don't need a city centre office, they don't need to be paying premium rents, they could have an office in the outskirts of the city or in the suburbs. I think there'll definitely be a structural change, but I don't see vast amounts of office space suddenly becoming available. I think it will just be used in a very different way.